Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, and Realtree.
Got your cough drops?
I gotta see how many are in here. 30.
What flavor did you go with?
This is a honey lemon. It's about 3:30. Grant and I just got back to the same spot we hunted yesterday, and we think these deer are bedding off to the north, so I'm going to take a slightly different route in. After getting a look at it yesterday, we're going to swing kind of wide through the CRP and try to pop right up at the tree line near where the camera is. It's a little bit hotter today and there's no wind. It's supposed to kind of be northeast, which is really favorable for this stand, but I think it's going to end up being light and variable, so we're going to get those onyx in there and hopefully we can make it happen on one of these bucks. I saw his body, so I stopped. He picked up his head. Clearly him. All I could see was his head. He was looking right at me. And there was another deer down lower that ran. And when that deer ran, he took off. So did he ever see you? He was looking right at me. I mean, all he could see is my head, and I wasn't moving, but he ran because the other deer ran. He was like staring this direction really hard. Was he, I mean, could you tell? Was he like a good deer? I mean, it's that deer. I mean, it's like a share. I mean, I would shoot him. I mean, he's mature. It's the one, I mean, it's velvet hanging everywhere. I mean, it's probably like, it's a short G2 10-pointer with a couple kickers. It's probably like 135, 140-inch deer. I cannot believe he's right here. He must have been bedded right here. He's had to have been bedded right there. It's about 4:10 and we're all tucked in. We got up to the stand at about 3:30 and one of our target bucks was right under the stand. I was creeping over the hill out of the CRP, watching very carefully, and I could see a body. And I didn't realize there was a second deer. I think the second deer saw me. The buck was looking back at us, but I don't think he could tell what I was because he could just probably see part of my head. And the other deer bound off, and he bound off with them just a little ways, and then they got quiet. So they might filter back through here. I don't know, it might be a long shot, but I decided to get in the stand either way because there's two other bucks that are shooters right here that might come in tonight. So hopefully we can get them into bow range before they get any whiff of us. Got back to the buggy, and overall it was a slow night, but right at the end there, a doe in that same spike came back, and so we didn't get the interview done in the tree. But I don't know, that buck was in there this morning and this afternoon. I'm gonna get back to the lodge and come up with a game plan tomorrow. Might try to hunt him in the morning, but I think we'll probably give this stand at least one more try in the afternoon. So we'll see what happens. It's supposed to warm up tomorrow. 96 degrees I think is the high. Ought to be interesting to see how it affects the deer movement. Fun to be in the tree nonetheless. I can't quite see that little area. It says east everywhere, right? September 9th. Grant and I are set up for the afternoon hunt in the same set we've hunted the last 2 afternoons. Yesterday we got here at 3:30 and our primary target was standing under the stand right here. He was with another deer that spooked. I don't think he really saw us. He ran off to the south. And then the landowner has a cellular camera down here, and he got pictures of him again this morning, just after legal shooting, at like around 6 o'clock to 6:15. And so we know he's still in the area and not too far. Main problem is this is our 3rd time in here, and every time we get here, we spook deer out from under the stand. So they're just bedding right around the stand. And what we were hoping was that they were bedding a little to the north and a little to the south, and in this narrow area we could sneak in and get set up and they would just kind of cruise on by. But we got a straight east wind blowing back over the CRP, or it's supposed to be. When we first walked up, there was some north in it. I always say you can never trust an east wind. It's always trying to blow from the west. And when it's light and variable, you just never know what's going to happen. So we got the ozonics going. And with any luck, that buck's going to show up tonight and we'll get a shot at him. about 4:42, and our buck just popped out. You can't see him coming. It's such low-lying, thick brush. So he popped out at like 50 yards, and he was coming in. And I stood up to grab my bow and get the GoPro going. And somehow the side button on my phone got pressed in, and so Siri started saying she's having trouble with her connection, and she can't understand me. This phone does that all the time. I think it's happened every time we've been in the tree, wouldn't you say? It happens every day. So I should just turn the phone off. Or not bring it or something, but I need to see if I can figure out how to switch that Siri command to another button or something. We're down to our last 30 minutes. Still pretty frustrated around the events earlier that led to that deer getting away, but either way, got to get over it, move on. We've only seen 2 deer tonight, him at 4:40 and then a little fawn earlier. There were the deer we had spooked coming in, but that's it. It's been a pretty slow night. It's easy to think that this spot is busted up and I probably shouldn't come back, but I don't have a lot of options for different places, and he's been very consistent the last 2 mornings and 2 afternoons. And so I think I'm going to have to give him another try tomorrow. He didn't seem spooked too bad. He just didn't quite know what happened. And I've gone to the settings on my phone and figured out how to turn that racket off. I'm on vacation, but my office is constantly texting and messaging me for questions and things, so I can't really put my phone away. Anyway, another enjoyable night in the woods, and I'm going to keep after him this week.